That's how I got literally 92% of my closings were from social media. It's just me organically posting and sharing and educating. Especially now, I'm starting to consistently cash in 6 commission checks a month. And each commission check is mainly a referral now. So it's like on average $3,000 per check. And that's just my real estate closings side of it. This is the Agent Goldmine, where you'll find real talk, and ambition. We're here to build real businesses and be more than your average agent. We want to know what killers are actually doing within their businesses, the reality of it, all tactical, no fluff. So we're here to find out. Please share and enjoy.
Woo woo! Oh my gosh, I'm so stoked for today's show. This episode is going to be specifically for those interested in creating a marketing machine through social media. This is one of the times where Allie and I, every 20 or so episodes, get to stop and interview each other. So Allie is our guest for today, and some quick stats for her is that she has closed 49 out of her 52 closings. She's in her second year as an agent, which is 92% of all closings from social media, which is why our deep dive today is creating a marketing machine through socials. Allie, welcome.
Thank you so much, Shelby. I'm excited. I like doing our You and I episodes. They're fun.
Dude, same. Me too. Let's change our entire show to just be us.
Yeah, who needs guests? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, fuck guests, out of here. Okay, well, to jump right in, I obviously know that you are obsessed with Instagram and socials in general. Probably everyone does. Because when I get on Instagram to go and stalk my Taylor Swift reels like I want to do, whose face pops up instead? It's Allie's everywhere. So, Allie, could you take us back and talk about your love story with Instagram? Like how and when did it begin? Instagram/socials.
Yeah, in the very, very beginning, I think I got on 14 or something. I hated it. I was like, this is dumb. I'd rather, why is this platform just for photos and not, dialogue, not talking? It was just, originally it was just photos. I started using it, it's just like everyone started using it and I got hooked somewhere along the way. Don't know how, don't know why, but I love social media. I'm always on it. And now that I'm in a business where I can utilize social media to literally make money, make a living off of social media, it very much so was a positive reinforcement. And I tell all of the agents that join our group, I'm like, dude, you have to have a social media and have it be your just one account, like one Instagram account. Don't make like another business one. Totally. It's just way too much work. Combine everything together. Plus they want to know who you are as a person anyway. And that's how I got literally 92% of my closings were from social media. And I do want to clarify, they're not all complete strangers that found me on social media. I run no ads. The only ads I run are sometimes for open houses and just to boost a specific property that I'm listing. Other than that, I don't run the ads that are like, hey, I'm a realtor. It's just me organically posting and sharing and educating.
Dude, love. Okay, question though. So someone's listening to this for the first time and they're like, okay, Allie got on, MySpace back in whatever year MySpace happened. And then, got more into, social media, Facebook, Instagram, all of that stuff. And then, most people know that you were in the military and you made that transition to agent life. So my question is, was this like a totally strategic play from the beginning? Like, when you got your license, you sat down and you're like, I am going to market my entire business through Instagram? Or how did, social media become the play for you?
I always try and take the cheapest option first. Because I, always, the cheapest first. And social media is freaking free. Like, it is freaking free. I'll get into all my costs later. Now I pay that $15 or $12 a month for the stupid check mark, but I'll get into why later. But in the beginning, it's free. You don't need that. So I was on it. I was on social media already anyway. I was miserable in my W-2 as as a major in the military, and on my way to separate, I switched my handle to be Allie the agent instead of what it was before, which was like I think just my name, because I was a federal agent for the Air Force. Like I was a special agent and I was a real estate agent, and I was like, hey, maybe my military, my comrades won't know, But then I quickly snapped out of that thinking because I didn't want to be a secret real estate agent. I wanted everyone to know, hey, I'm leaving the military for real estate. Think of me whenever you are PCSing. And that's how I got started. Because of course there's so many courses you can buy on how to be a social media guru and just like how to get all your leads through social media in by tomorrow. And it's a freaking waste. Because if you're new, start it organically yourself for free. This is how I think about coaching too. I was like, oh man, I think I want to sign up for Tom Ferry coaching. And then I'm like, wait, I have so many free freaking coaches because of the EXP family that I'm in. Why would I pay for Tom Ferry? I originally told myself I would listen to every single Tom Ferry episode, which I have. And then if my business wasn't where I wanted it to be, then I'll pay for it. So that's kind of my mentality overall is I'm going to try it myself. And if by X date, I haven't gotten Y result, then I'll get some assistance and pay for it. But I have not needed to, and I don't think you will either.
Okay. I love that you said that too. And a little side note is I talk to new agents a lot who same thing you just said. They're like, oh, I just bought Follow Up Boss, but you have KV Core for free. Or I just paid for Dot Loop when you have SkySlip for free. And I love your mindset for that. And I love that you teach your agents that too, because all of it sucks to learn. All of it's going to take time. Like it's happy to glad, just take the time to figure it out. And that's exactly what you did with socials. So, okay, can you take us to today? I want to break down your entire process for social media, starting with the end state, right? We start with the end in mind. So what results are you looking for from your post? What is your goal that you're working towards?
My goal is $308,000 a year in commission. And that's very specific, but I heard it on a Tom Ferry podcast that agents that have 6 conversations about real estate a day on average make $308,000 a year. I put that on my whiteboard. I should probably get it. Maybe I'll have it with the photo or whatever. And so when I first listened to that episode, which is pretty early on in my agent career, I mean, I've been doing this less than 2 years, I made that and I broke it down, how many conversations I would have for the year, quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily. And from there, I knew that I didn't like cold calling. I hate phone calls. I'm not going to call. I don't even answer phone calls. So instead, what is my method of communication now? And it was mainly Facebook Messenger, DMs in Instagram, and text. So that is what I just doubled down on, and that's where I'm going.
Okay, I love it. And I love that you broke it all the way down so that way you know your numbers. You hear that all the time in real estate. Well, maybe you don't. And if you don't, you should, because if you have a goal, but you don't have it broken down to know exactly what you have to do every single day to hit that goal, then that's maybe something you need to pause, talk to, your peers, figure the out. So that way you actually know what to do every single day. Okay, gotcha. So that is your goal. My next question, I guess, before most people start, it's the identifying who you're talking to. So, and who is your target audience / avatar? That's probably a dumb question, but
no, it's not, because being an investor first, I originally thought I was going to work with investor clients. And I'm like, hey, I invest, we speak the same language, all that. I had maybe 2 investor clients early on, and it was a hot mess. No, thank you. They were tire kickers. Investors don't have to invest. And I quickly realized I was not the best, highest in the use of my time. So I switched my main clientele to be other military members. And I clicked with them immediately. I still speak that same language. Obviously, I was still active duty until a couple of months ago. And I knew what PCSing was. I've been through it. I PCS 10 times during my 10 years in the military, maybe 8 times. And almost every single time I purchased a property. So I knew what it was like to have all your in storage, not knowing when household goods was going to come, not knowing, just that you have the 10 days to identify a property before you have to start paying for your own like living expenses, you have to find quick. So it was just people that I was already surrounded with in the office, knowing other people that are PCSing or moving in the military, in case you don't know that term. So I knew that. I clicked with them, and that's who I started gaining in clients organically, just by me telling people I was a realtor. Now,
Okay, cool. And
oh,
girl, okay, hit it.
I will say my target audience on social media is switching. So that was 100% when I was solely only doing production. Now that in earlier episodes, or in, I don't know, in other episodes, you can hear my story about how I quickly became inundated with the clients that I had, that I could not work all of the leads. So I had to switch to grow the crew, the realtor crew, to help me with all the leads I had. So right now, I would say it's 50-50 between continuing to gain more clients, as well as the other target audience is now and will be shifting more toward a seasoned, experienced, fun agents that I think will be an asset to this community, whether or not you're in Tucson, literally anywhere in the nation. That's who my target audience is, because I've been in their shoes. I feel like I had some success, 20 transactions my first year while still part-time. And I can like speak their language and help them. I'm like not too far ahead to where I forgot what all that was like.
We love your DMs on Instagram, and as long as you don't sound like a bot or aren't sharing your overnight crypto success, hit us up on Instagram. Let's be friends. We're at The Shelby Show and at Allie the Agent.
Yes, totally. And I love that you started with what you already knew with the military members, because they talk about establishing your target audience and your avatar. And one of the big pieces is like understanding deeply like their fears, their pain points, their goals, like making sure that they feel like they're talking to someone who gets them and the life they're living. So that was like a completely natural fit for that first year. And the reason why I think this is super cool too is because, sometimes when people jump into social media, they just, as new agents, they just start posting random real estate, tips or how-tos or whatever. But the more that you can lock in exactly who you want to work with, specifically, whether that's listings or whether that's buyers or whether that's a certain price point or a demographic, in regard to like for you, it was military, then you can direct your content to speak directly to that individual. So the riches are in the niches. Love that. And then same with the agent stuff now. So, okay, we understand your goal. We understand your target audience. And now at this point, can you take us into like creation? What happens in pre-filming? Like how do you prep? How do you figure out content and that sort of stuff?
So in the beginning, when I was doing transactions, and I will say to go further into the riches are in the niches, your target demographic for your clients doesn't have to be a geographic area. That's the most common question that I get here from other realtors in Tucson. They're like, oh, what areas do you work? It doesn't have to be just a geographic area. It could be a target demographic audience. And mine is military members. Do military members in Tucson typically like a couple of areas? Yes. However, not everybody does. So it's not like I have to focus in on one specific zip code or neighborhood in order to master it. No, you can, if you know a lot of traveling nurses, and because you are a nurse and also a realtor, whatever the case is, if you know a lot of, I don't know, people in like the Japanese community because you are Japanese and you're associated with them, that is your target audience as opposed to one specific neighborhood. So
Dude, wait, one thing I want to add on to that too is that if you find that you are getting leads, attracting a certain clientele that you are not interested in working with, i.e., you said you don't want to work with investors hypothetically, but let's say that you're out there and you're attracting a bunch of investors, it's your responsibility to stop and pause. This is not you, Allie, this is hypothetical. Yeah. And say, what am I putting out into the universe that makes those people think that I am their person? And then it's on you to adjust your message to attract the right.
Yes. Yeah, no, exactly. Okay. And I want to do something else. Adding on to that before we eventually switch over. I had like newer investors reach out to me. And because I was talking about newbie investing, yes, I had to change that. And so after I changed that, that's when for the record, I do not work with first-time investors. I will maybe work with them if they have like more than 3 under their belt. But the rest, that's who I was targeting. So then I ended up switching that to a paid for call, because it is not worth my time. And even the $100 an hour call that I have now, that's 1/3 of what I could be making doing something else. So that probably won't last long at all. Okay, so now back to the questions.
Okay, question. So we're talking about the creation itself, and we're in the pre-filming stage. Like, how do you prep for what you put out on socials?
In the beginning, when I was doing transactions, it was as I was going along, as I was at the home inspection, because in Arizona, the agent has to be at the home inspection. It was whatever I was doing. If I was we don't really have crawl spaces here, but if I was in an attic, I would be like recording myself in the attic with the home inspector saying, does your agent do this? If I was doing, whatever I was doing along my day, I was recording it. In whatever the hell I was dressed in, which is never dressed up. I'm never dressed up. However the hell my hair was, I don't care. It was me. If anything, it shows that like I'm hustling and, and doing work. So that was then. Now that I have grown the group and my target audience is switching to other seasoned agents who are feeling stuck right now in their business, now I work more from home, which is amazing. And I do prepare more. So I do have scripts, and I have like a list of equipment that I use too. I have scripts. And then as far as like time batching, people always say, oh, I record. They typically have a day of the week and a couple of hours that they record at a time. I'm not there yet. I tried that. And so far I found that on that Saturday that I was ready to record, I don't feel like recording. Like sometimes you just don't feel like it. And other days where you have so much more energy, typically for me, it's in the morning. That's when I'll do it. I'm like, hey, I woke up, and maybe you could tell that I just freaking woke up, but I'm pumped. I'm ready. So that's when I have the most energy, because otherwise it will reflect in your videos if you aren't feeling it. So right now I have a whole Evernote list, like this list, and I just sent it to a couple of the agents in my downline because they were struggling with ideas, and I was like, dude, there is no shortage of ideas. So I have an Evernote where I have all different topics. Some of them are completely like finished, like the whole script is there waiting for me. Some of them are just bullet points, like, hey, I want to talk about this and go further about this. Usually those ideas come to me in the shower. I do bring my phone with me in the shower. I will whip out my Evernote and put it in right then and there, because otherwise I will forget. So I don't know. I just know that about myself. So I have everything in Evernote. And then whenever I'm feeling it, I whip out the Evernote. I put it on, I use either Captions or Prompt Smart Pro. I pay $10 for each of them. And I'll go into how much I pay for every single month with everything that I use. And then I read the script. Sometimes I have to do it again. Sometimes I have to do it 4 times because I'm like, you know what? I wanted to emphasize more on this, and I'm okay with that. And then I can go into the people that I have outsourced to.
So it sounds like right now there's not a specific date or time that you go in and you like record, right? And so throughout the week, whenever an idea hits you, mostly in the shower, you are taking that idea, you're grabbing it, you're throwing it into a location that you can go back to, and you know exactly where it is. You're not doing one in email, one in your notes, one handwritten, whatever. That's a big key takeaway, consolidated into one location. Also, Evernote is an app on your phone and it syncs to your computer. So that's another bonus for sure. And then my question before we move on to the filming is, in regard to, maybe there's people out there who are struggling to do videos in general and they're nervous about it. What would you say is a good way to crush through that and just get comfortable on camera like we all know that you are?
Google is the #1 website in the world. YouTube is the #2 website in the world. Google owns YouTube. You are foolish not to have videos up, at least on YouTube. If you're to focus on one social media, I would choose YouTube. So that's where I started with it, like the mentality of knowing that I have to be on video. I have to. I was not always comfortable being on video. No one ever really was in the beginning. The more that you do it, the more you become comfortable. And I in our group, our free coaching, we had a challenge to where every single week we had to do one either Instagram or Facebook live. And that is what changed my mentality. I was not comfortable doing lives before. I'm like, hey, I can't rewind. I can't re-record. I have to say things right the first time. And doing a live every single week will shorten the time frame that you're uncomfortable. So I would say like a lesson here is if you are uncomfortable, go on live. That will humble you really quick. And then you'll realize that you're okay. That when you end a live, you're still living. Everything is fine. So, and then you'll do it more and more. Had I done a live instead of one live a week, had I done one live a day, I could have shortened that, 8-week time frame that it took for me to be completely comfortable. And I could have probably shortened that to 1 week. So if you really want to like speed up, do one live every single day for 8 days in a row, and you will feel more comfortable.
Okay, last question on pre-filming before we move on to the actual filming process. In regard to content ideas, you said you have a million of them, you're writing them down in the shower, and maybe I'm like an agent out there and I'm thinking about what is worthy of posting? Like, how do you decide what to actually post?
What clients ask me. So the clients will typically have the same couple of questions. So that is what I post. And think about it, when you're moving, you want to know, most likely when you're purchasing, you want to know what the best school districts are, what the best schools are in the area, what the best XYZ is, how long the commute is to the base. So it's helping clients answer the questions before they even realize that they have them. So in that way, when clients reach out to you through social media and say, hey, well, I don't really know what type of areas like I'm looking for yet. I have kids that are in middle school and I want them to be in a good school district. Boom, you can, instead of this sounds kind of harsh, but instead of a whole conversation, you have a whole video already for them for that very specific purpose. And they start thinking of you as more of an agent, like in authority, that knows and understands what they are looking for. So I feel like that has helped a ton. I have sent out my, 3 top school districts in Tucson out a lot.
That's perfect. Okay, so now we've kind of got pre-filming under control. Now can we move to filming? And you mentioned before, and back in the day, you used to do it like wherever you were on the fly. But how about now? Can you talk us through your setup and your equipment?
Yes, I have a whole list of equipment that I use, and I'm happy to share it with everyone. From the 2 lights that I have right now, like my neon light behind me that says Allie the Agent, the mic that I have, the what do you call it? The iPhone holder that I have with like the legs where you could position them in any way. So I originally was going to get like an expensive camera and of course like do the thing. Then I'm like, wait, I'm cheap. I want the cheaper option first. So I had an iPhone 12 and I was like, you know what, let me just upgrade my iPhone and see how things are going. Just see how things go with that. So I upgraded to the 14 and that is all I freaking need. And I'm using the front facing camera, not even like the other side that has 42 cameras. I'm using the front facing one, and that's fine because lights make so much of a difference. Like, you need 2 good lights. Out of all the equipment that I have, those 2 lights I think are the most important. And I forget the name of it, but again, I have it on my list, so you can just reach out to me. So that, and when I was asking my assistant actually to like order all of this, she was like, she added something in the cart and she added like a little foot pillow too. Oh my God, that's perfect. I was like, yes, this is amazing. So now I'm comfy and I record whenever whenever I'm feeling it, whenever I am like feeling hyper and extroverted, because on the spectrum between extroverted and introverted, I fall right in the middle. So I might seem like very, very extroverted on camera, and I can, do that. But after that, I do need to recharge. So anyway, I have a whole list. Reach out to me if you want it.
Dude, it's so funny that you said that. I actually didn't know that you were right in the middle. I am too, like literally border the line, and everyone in the world thinks that I'm like highly extroverted. You too, by the way. And when in reality, we're like 50% nice to see you, 50% don't talk to me. That's funny. Okay, so you got your setup. I love your foot pillow. I didn't know about that either. Total cost-ish of the equipment, or is it on the equipment list?
It's on the equipment list. The most expensive items, I guess, would be the iPhone 14, and which I'm sure with your plan now, you could just do it per month or whatever. And the two lights. I think the two lights, it came in a bundle, and you need both. Like one is not enough. You need like them at 45-degree angles. There's like a short video that I can show you too. The two lights, I forget if they were $200 each or $200 for the bundle, but those would be the most expensive. And when I'm doing these YouTube videos, I don't even use my podcasting mic, right? Like I use these little things, like literally the ones that come with the iPhone. I just plug it in, the little wired ones, and that's enough. Like literally that's all you need. And of course my branding side, Allie the Agent, that came from, I don't know, probably China. So that costs a lot. I was like almost $400, I think, but I guard it with my life. So
yeah, dude, I'm with you. My neon sign,
yeah,
I think it was like $500, and I was like, this is painful, but
it's
also
so cool.
super cool.
Yeah,
greatest thing ever. Yeah, I love yours too. Okay, so now we have the setup, we have the cost. Now, can you take me through the very specific? So you have your scripts on Evernote, and then you record with the front-facing camera, but do you like copy the script and paste it into transcript,
yes.
teleprompter?
Now that I use Captions app more, which is like $10 a month, I had used the free version a couple of years ago, and it just was not good. It was not good, but they've really fixed their glitches. So I pay for the $10 a month, and now I'm heavier in that app. So with the Evernote, once I perfect it on Evernote and I read it out loud, like otherwise, because you'll find that once you have a script but you haven't read it out loud, you need to change that. It doesn't flow the way that you speak. So you're going to have edits. And so after I finish it on Evernote, then I will add that to my Captions app. I used to add it to the Prompt Smart Pro with a Word doc. So I would just take it from Evernote. I would save it into a Word doc by itself, labeled the title. And then on my phone, I would log in through Evernote and I'd find it through the Prompt Smart app, and then I'd read it. So sometimes I still do that. And then after that, I just save that video, and then I upload that video into Captions to give me the captions. And then sometimes also I will toggle that AI feature with my eyes. The most recent video I did has, again, that eye feature because I am reading. Sorry, Sam Caudle. And yeah, so I'll do that. And then after it's on the Captions app with the captions, with the colors that I like, with my eyes looking as if I'm looking at the screen, but I'm actually reading. I'm not even looking that direction. Then I download it. Then I put it, what I've been doing now with my VAs, these are for Reels, by the way, different from my longer version on YouTube. For Reels, I will put it on Instagram as a scheduled piece of content, either for the next day or whatever opening day that I have. And then from there, my virtual assistant out in the Philippines, Mike, he takes it, downloads it from Instagram and posts it on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, like everything else.
Okay, I got it. I think we from Evernote, whatever, transferred to whether you do the Word document or whatever, it's transferred to the teleprompter. And then once you like it in the teleprompter, then it's uploaded into Captions, which is where you literally do the captions for the reel, and you AI switch your eyes over. You download it, you upload it into Instagram. Are you batching these? So when you do a bunch of videos, are you uploading all into Instagram as scheduled posts?
Right now, I'm doing 1 to 2 at a time. I'm not batching them because not every script in Evernote is ready. So it's almost like when I'm feeling it, I need a script like now. So I'll do 1 or 2, switch my shirt, and then that's pretty much it. So that's why actually I've been focused more so leaning toward longer video on YouTube. So that way I can just go on Opus Pro, like opus.clip, obviously if you can spell clip. And then that way a longer YouTube video can be spread out into 60 different reels. So that's what I'm doing now.
Yo, real quick, this podcast is not free. Cost of admission is sharing with a buddy who'd benefit or throwing it on your Instagram story. Tag us, we'll reshare that. Dude, that was the coolest thing when you sent me that whatever AI. Say it one more time. Opus.
Opus, OPUS.CLIP.
Okay, yeah, dude, that blew my mind so much when you were like, yo, like you can just upload a podcast or a video and then hit, go, and that spits out 16 reels for free. So like that's crazy. So yeah, and no wonder you want to go towards
Yeah.
longer video, and
Yeah.
that's like way more efficient. But your system is efficient too right now, because the one upload that you do is still not through your own time, posted on all of those other platforms. My other question though for that was, are you, when you're uploading it into Instagram, into like the scheduled, are you doing the description?
We kind of go back and forth. If it's a video where it's so obvious that what I'm talking about, the point that I'm trying to make, he'll do the description. I'll just tell him via WhatsApp is how we communicate. I'll just tell him to hit on these key points. And then if it's longer where it's more targeted and I want like a lengthier description, then I'll do it and he'll just copy and paste it everywhere else. He knows, and I've told him previously who to tag, who to collaborate with, and to add any sort of trending music, trending sound, but just put the volume on low, on 0, or maybe 3. And for the most part there, it's like case by case basis.
Okay, that makes sense. So, question, if you're filming 1 to 2 at a time, how many, let's say hypothetically in a week, how many times are you recording? Because your goal is what, 500?
Yeah, my goal is 500 in 2023. That does include lives. That's where I'll make up for the rest. For right now, I'm very steady at 1 reel a day. And I've been that way for the last couple of months. I did not start in the beginning of 2023, so I do want to catch up, but I think with these longer form, I will be able to, like, no problem. So that's my goal. It's work, and it's work. I will not say it is easy. It's not. And I'm at the point where, and I got to the point earlier where I needed help editing. First of all, I've never edited. So that was actually my first hire as a person. I'm like, hey, I know that I don't want to learn editing, because you shouldn't learn editing. Pay somebody else to do that. Don't forget you're a realtor first. So pay someone else to do everything. So I hired someone that you recommended. Love him. So Kevin does my editing. He did do my reels, my shorts, but now that Captions is like super easy to do, that I switched over to Captions for $10 a month, as opposed to, like the $15 per reel that I was paying before. So now I pay him about like $100 per longer YouTube video. And then the bottleneck became me, because Kevin, the VA, was just like throwing them back. He was like, all right, done, 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 done. And I did not have the time to post, because I didn't want to post on just, if I'm doing all this effort, I don't want it to only stick on Facebook and Instagram. I wanted it to be everywhere, because otherwise, what's the point of that effort? So I then went on Upwork. No, I went on onlinejobs.ph. I found a VA in the Philippines, and I pay him $50 a week, so $250 per month, to post 1 reel a day on 6 platforms every single day. And if it's a YouTube video, he will do the thumbnail, and he'll do like the tags, and pretty much like we have some ground rules as far as, how which tags, what location, like always have it be somewhere in Tucson, not just Tucson, but a specific location, like the Dutch Bros on the corner of 4th and Campbell, whatever, in Tucson, and pick random ass one. So I'm all over Tucson. So those are the 2 people that I hired. And it wasn't back to back. In the beginning, maybe like the first 6-8 months, I was doing everything by myself. And I was like, whoa, I am not a social media. This is not my skill set. This is not my forte. I am a negotiator, right? Like I'm a real estate agent. That's what I need to focus on. That's what pays the bills. So I need to hire somebody else. So it took a while for me to get over the hump of needing to hire somebody to edit. And then once I did, oh my gosh, what a lifesaver. But then it was back to me, because I'm like, oh my God, I have so many videos to post, and I don't even have time to post them, because they don't take 4 minutes to post. It was taking me 2 hours, almost an hour and a half every single day to post something. No, never mind. So I hired somebody else right when the point became, right when I was too stressed out to be able to handle it on my own. That's when you need to hire somebody.
Okay, makes a ton of sense. And you said so much good stuff in there. Like, I loved that you said, if you're going to film it, if you're going to put in the effort, you might as well post it everywhere, because that's something that I have up for sure in the past is I'm like, oh, Instagram and sometimes Facebook when I feel like it because I like Instagram best, but you're totally right. It's like everyone has their favorite platform. And if you're making content, might as well repurpose it to fit, that content, not change the message, but like format, whatever, and make sure it posts on all those pages. So that was super smart, along with the specific location thing about picking a spot all over Tucson. Like, loved that. Yeah, and Kevin is so good. The
He's so
virtual
good.
assistant, the one who edits those videos. Like Drake is doing one and doing like a video for like a YouTube marketing ad that we're testing out
Nice.
with Jason Boyce from Connecticut. And he recorded the video and Kevin just nailed it out the gate. So there's like nothing more powerful than that virtual assistant who learns based on your guidance, modifies their own style, and then consistently produces exactly what you're looking for. Wild. Question though, we haven't talked about, I have two different questions. So one, I want to kind of go to YouTube, but I want to do that after. First, I want to talk about stories. So you have that reel coming out once a day. What's your process?
Every reel that I post on my Instagram, I will post on my story. And sometimes I'll just scroll down my page and just pick like a random reel that I posted a while ago and I'll post it again on my story. Those are, I would say, like 30% of what's on my stories. The rest are just me going about my freaking day. If I find something funny, I'm posting it to the world because if I think it's funny, maybe one other person will think it's funny too. It shows my personality. It shows like what I'm doing. And typically it's just working. That is my life. And I love it. No, like that there's no negative there. Like I love it. And then it's like stuff, I don't know, just whatever I'm doing. If I'm going on a bike ride and because I find Kendall Tool hot, like I'm posting her, like I just bought a couch that's about to go on. It's just me and my day. For me, it doesn't take any extra mental effort though. So it's not like I am always 24/7 thinking about what should I post on the social media. I'm like, oh, that was kind of funny, or this food tastes good. I'm going to post it. I am that person.
Dude, that's good though. And I like how you don't overthink it. Because that's what I've noticed that I do is like when I'm in a routine, when I've built the habit of consistently posting and sharing, not just on like actual reels or whatever, but also like stories, then it flows so naturally. But if I get off track and I like lose the habit, it becomes this like mental thing again. So it sounds like you just have a really good habit and that feels like you've never stopped.
Yeah, no, I don't think about it at all. And that's the thing is once you become more comfortable, you won't give obviously there are some things that I will, just private stuff. Otherwise it's just me. And I do want to go back to the editor because I not only struggled with needing to like deciding that I needed an editor, but I struggled with where to find one. And I imagine that a lot of other people are struggling with where to find an editor too. And it sounds so counterintuitive, but now that I'm pumping out content, I have so many people reaching out to me saying, hey, can I edit your videos for free just to test me out? You're going to love me. And so when people say, hey, I can't find any editors, go on onlinejobs.ph, find realtors who are already doing videos, ask them if their editors are able to take on any more work, or just pump them out yourself. You will get people reaching out to you.
Yeah, I think that's a great tip. And then also, if you are a part of a community, like Ali said, reach out to agents, but like your community, because Kevin was my intern for 9 months when he was waiting for a green card. And on the side, I was like, hey, can you like try to edit these videos? And he crushed it. And then I put that on the videos. But Ali's, yes, videos, let's do it. Question for, speaking of Kevin, to strip the name away from it, your long form video editor. That's what he is. So that process, can you talk about it? Is it the same flow as like the content idea, the script, when you feel energy, like that piece? And then also once you filmed it, I'm sure there's a different transfer to him process.
When I feel energized, whenever I have a good topic that I want to talk about, and the topic is derived typically from what I'm doing myself in my own workday. It's whatever question I want to answer because I just had a conversation with an agent or a client, whatever, story I'm doing, etc. So I record it, and with him, because I am recording myself, and it's not like he's not my videographer. He lives across the country. I've never met him in person, and I feel like we're best friends. So I record on my iPhone and with my little the headset that comes with the iPhone, because that's where I found that the audio quality was the best, even though it looks like whatever. I don't care what it looks like. So I record it. And then he uses a website called Mega, M like Mike, EGA.NZ, like New Zealand. And I upload that video onto Mega. I have like my own folder for him. He pays for Mega because I'm not his only client, so he does this for other people as well. And so I upload it to my folder. I name that folder, within the Alley folder, there's a video to edit folder. Within that videos to edit folder, I have 4 different, whatever topic that video is on. I create a new folder. I upload it in there. And the reason he uses Mega is so the quality and the audio isn't degraded. I think he said that if you upload it to Google Drive, it wouldn't be the same. If I were to text in the video, it would not be the same. Or send it over WhatsApp, it like kills the quality of the video. So we use Mega. And then at that point, I shoot him a quick WhatsApp. I'm like, hey, Kevin, I'm on a roll. I just got another video done. It's like about 15 minutes raw. Just so you know, could you time frame? Are you thinking maybe you could do this by the 4th of July? I want to, submit it by XYZ date. And he either says yay or nay. I can go, longer or shorter. He sends me an edited version back. At this point, he already knows what I'm looking for, right? Which isn't complicated. At the end, it's like some music in the back. I want you to be able to hear me, and I want some effects. If I'm talking a lot about numbers and losing people, I want those numbers on the screen. Stuff like that. Important keywords, I want them on the screen. And I don't want to say it's not too hard, because it's very hard for me, but it's actually not like too much work as opposed to some other videos that are like just super stupid crazy. So then he sends it to me. And usually there's some just grammatical errors, so something super small. So I just send him the final everything of what I want. After I send him my revision, that's usually it. Then he sends it back to me. It's finalized. And then I upload it to YouTube, or rather I tell Mike to, I give Mike the link to that specific Mega thing, so he can download it directly. So that way I'm not the middleman. He's going directly to Mega. Again, the quality's not degraded. And then he posts it. I tell him a couple of keywords to use, tags, and I give him the title. I am still in charge of doing the title. I use TubeBuddy. I use the keyword button, the keyword explorer there, and I test a couple of titles. And as long as it's above a score of 80, I will post it. Well, I'm still going to post a video, but I will eventually find a title that's over 80.
Just stop the entire video, shut it down, delete if there's not. No. Okay. All that makes sense. My question, do you send the VA your script in addition to the video for him to follow? Do you like highlight things you want on the screen, or does he do that entirely himself?
When the editor VA was doing my captions before I started using the Captions app, I was giving him the whole script and highlighting in blue and in green which ones I wanted highlighted differently. But now that the Captions app does that automatically with the AI, with the emphasis that you do in just your regular speaking, I don't need to do that. So I don't send anybody my scripts.
So between shorts, longs, posting, editing, apps, all the things, what is your like monthly social media budget?
My expenses right now are $630 a month. And it sounds steep. It sounds so steep, but I'm cheap as shit. It sounds steep.
I don't think so.
Because especially like when I was first starting out, I didn't even want to pay the $10 for Captions app. That was it. Like I didn't even want to pay $10, even though all of my clients were coming from, or 92% of my clients were coming from Facebook and Instagram. I still don't want to pay $10 freaking, but my pain became so freaking like intense of like my frustration of having to edit and post that I needed to pay it. So the biggest bulk of that is about $300 a month that I'm paying the editor now that I'm doing more longer version. And that's pretty much 3 videos a month at $100 each. So that's $300 a month. And the other VA who is doing the posting, like I said before, that's $250 a month. The rest are very measly fees. I am paying the $10 a month caption. I am paying about, was it like $15 a month for Calendly, because why put everything out there and not have a system to then get them to book an appointment? I'm paying the $10 a month for Prompt Smart Pro to read the script, which you can still read on Captions as well. I'm paying the $15 a month on Instagram and Twitter for that little check mark. And I feel still conflicted about this because I feel like a poser, but it's the way that we are shifting now as like a culture from the check mark used to represent only, famous people and like literal verified people. We are shifting now with the AI to where the check mark now means that you're human and you take business seriously and you're not a bot. And being that you have a whole business, people want to know that you are taking this seriously. And it's not like just me, half in, half out. No, I'm paying for the $15 a month, whatever. But at least if I'm playing Instagram's game, if I'm playing Twitter's game, hoping that they will push my up to the top, knowing that I'm giving them money.
Well, that's what our marketing specialist for Five Pillars Nation was saying too. He was talking about how no one wants to pay, of course, for the check, but it is a way for the platforms to identify which profiles to move ahead in, whatever algorithm. It's like there's so many people who's putting out so much content. It's just an additional way to, exactly like you said, identify who's serious, who's not, and then get your content in front of more eyes. So I've also done it. You're not alone. And dude, I was going to say, $630 a month. I know that if you hear that out of nowhere, if you hadn't just talked for 50 minutes about like everything that was included, I feel like it sounds like a lot. But for the amount of content that you're pumping out and the amount of leverage that you have in place for it, I feel like that's a hella good deal. Like really good.
Especially now, I'm starting to consistently cash in 6 commission checks a month. And each commission check is mainly a referral now. So it's like on average $3,000 per check. So, and that's just my real estate closings side of it. One commission check way makes more than obviously that plus what I need to live. So, or close to it. So this is the expenses, but the return on that is so much higher.
Okay. So at this point, what did we not cover?
Talking first to the person that is struggling to get started. One, you're missing the boat because so many other people are doing it. So you need to jump on this boat. You cannot just be like a text only person. Otherwise, if you don't want to make video, fine. You have to like triple that amount of phone calls that you need to do then. If you don't like cold calling, then maybe you need to do video. So some tips that I find and mistakes rather that I see new agents or new people that are creating content, that the mistakes that they make. Number one is keeping that short. Even though a reel allows and a YouTube short allows and a Facebook, whatever, allows 60 seconds, nobody wants to listen to you for 60 seconds. Nobody. So keep that to like less than 30. I'm trying to do 20 seconds max. And that is, you have to condense so much. So keep the bluff, like the bottom line up front, make that the first statement. Make the first statement that you say out of your mouth the wow factor, and then you go into why, and then you cut it at 20 seconds. That's mistake number one. Mistake number two, I would say, is the head placement. If your head is not in the top third of the actual video, like if you're like way down here, you look awkward as like what? And then so keep your head in the top third of the video, meaning, for me, that's typically like a downward angle. And then the text, when you do have text, because that's mistake number 3, is not placing any text. Majority actually of viewers listen to your on silent. They're at work, they're in bed and their spouse is sleeping, whatever it is. They don't listen to your stuff on loud. So you need to give them an option to read it. And therefore, if they're not captured by the first wow sentence, they're going to scroll, they're going to move on. So mistake number 3 is not putting any text. Mistake number 4 is where you put the text. Put the text right below your lips. Therefore, your head obviously has to be higher because people aren't even going to look at your eyes, which is why I use the AI toggle. I don't even care. So make it as close to your face as possible for the text. And I think that's it. So, but other than that, yeah. And then
Dude, there's a
other than
lot of
that,
there.
make your personality come out. With that said, though, make sure that you are not being somebody else, because there is nothing worse than meeting somebody that you think is like so cool. And you're like, oh my God, look at this like social media person that I follow. I get to meet him, and they're a tool. If you're a tool, show it in your social media, because there are clients that want to work with you. There is an agent for everyone, no matter how like uneducated or smart or funny or serious you are. Everywhere in between, there is a client for you. Showcase your personality, and therefore you don't have to pretend that you're somebody that you're not with clients that you took on because they thought you were somebody else.
This short pause is to tell you that this podcast ain't free. Y'all, tap on the 5 stars and leave a review with your Instagram handle. If you're funny, we might give you a shout out on the next episode. Thank you so much. Back to the show. Yeah, dude, totally. And it's honestly, it's so much more work to pretend to be someone else.
Yeah.
Like that is draining, So if you're already don't want to do social media, because it's like, literally, it's like you have to think about the mask that you're wearing.
Yeah.
So just be yourself. Totally with you on that. Okay, question. Is there anything else before I ask you another question that's not related to this?
I mean, I think that's it. If you want the list of equipment that I have all the links for you, including even my seat cushion too. 'Cause I'm sitting comfy right now. Message me, find me on Instagram, of course, Allie the Agent. And one other thing is, I don't go on all of those social media platforms. One, I'm never on Twitter. Two, I'm never on LinkedIn. So don't think that, I have to learn a whole new platform. No, someone else already knows it, and you can pay them a little bit of money for them to do it. In my LinkedIn, I literally have it say, I never check this, so message me on Instagram. And I've gotten people that leave LinkedIn to message me on Instagram, and I've gotten clients that way. I've gotten like agents that want to join the crew that way. So you don't have to feel like you now have to own 6 different platforms. Someone else can do that.
Dude, yeah, you read my mind. I actually had that written down and I forgot to ask it. I was like, how do you keep up with all of these platforms for writing people back? Because I know that you actually reply to people. So this makes sense. Are you only replying on Instagram and Facebook, or what are you replying on personally?
Those are the only things that I open. Instagram and TikTok too, a little bit. But TikTok is a different algorithm. It's mainly strangers as opposed to getting like clients like no. So I do respond to everyone though. I reply to everyone. And maybe there'll be a point where I no longer do that. But as of right now, I do, as long as you show some respect for my time. There are some people, that come with like loaded ass questions. And at that point, it becomes a coaching call. So yeah, but if you have a very direct question that you like need like a yes or no answer on, I'm here for it.
Love, love, love. And so instead of our normal wrap up question, because I already know your favorite app and what events you're going to this year. And if you don't remember it, Allie is episode number 2 in the very beginning. So you can go back and listen to that one. But real quick, like what's a life update? What are you working on? Successes, whatever. Hit me with what the is going on in your life.
So this month, June 2023, and projected for next month as well, it's the first time that my passive and residual income has surpassed my living expenses. Yeah, yeah, dude, like ever since I became just obsessed with retiring early and financial independence, which was 5 years ago, I have been working like so hard at it. And of course I could have gotten there earlier. I definitely could have gotten there later, but I got there now and I'm thrilled. And I'm like, it just gives me such a sense of accomplishment, but also that it like now, okay, let me back up a little bit. I write down my affirmations and like my goals every single morning, every morning. And this month I had to up those goals. Like now that I have now that I'm pretty much for this month and next month financially independent, and I want to keep that obviously going, I upped those goals. So yes, I feel great this month, and that feeling is starting to subside. Like I want to ride that high forever, but me as a person, I can't. So now like I made another goal and I upped it, and now I'm just like going toward that and like paying off all my mortgages, which one of them will be paid off next month. And that's one accomplishment, but also like resetting the bar. The bar is now higher, and that's what I'm going for. that's a life update of mine.
Dude, I wanted to literally, like, when I had my arms up and I was like, "Ah," like mouthing it, I wanted to scream how cool that is. But, Riverside, the hosting platform for the podcast, like, cuts you off. So now I have to keep all my remarks to myself. But anyway, dude, that is so sick. Like, when you got out of the military, I remember, like, in our first Zoom, like, we were talking about financial goals and passive income and just at least having everything cover all of your life expenses. And like, you did that quickly. I know, of course you did say some people could have done it faster, but most people never do it. Like, it is so sick. And then also what you said about like increasing the goals, like we are the same. And so that's a lot, like, within the community. It's not just about hitting your goals. It's about identifying the next benchmark, because all of those stupid cliches that you hear in your life about, life is about the journey, not the destination. It's all that is actually true. And as soon as you feel like you get to a destination, you realize that like life keeps moving because it's this journey that you're on, whether or not you want it. So could you tell us what's your next goal?
I have a lot of goals in different categories, but to stick with like real estate and financial independence, my goal now is by the end of the year to consistently make $15,000 a month in passive and residual income. And that's, like pure cash flow. That includes some of my my rentals, that includes, and me working in the business. Then a second goal is net worth. Net worth used to be my main goal. And that was like, and we've spoken about this offline before, how I realized like how just arbitrary that was. And that was like, it didn't mean anything. I wanted to separate as a net worth millionaire. I wanted to separate from the military, after a decade as a net worth millionaire. I did. And it was for what? Like for nothing, just to say, because net worth does not mean cash flow. I realized like cash flow is so much more important than how much you're worth. So, but I do still have that just to have another something to reach toward. But the biggest goal that now I'm working toward is showing that other agents that they can do the same. Like you can do the same. So my goal is to partner with 50 agents in 2023 and show them how to run their business the way that I'm doing it, should they want to. Hopefully they do. I mean, I'm doing okay. That's my goal is to partner with 50 agents in 2023.
Dude, I really like the pure cash flow thing, because that's something that actually drives me crazy on the internet, is when people are like, oh, I have $100,000 a month in cash flow. I'm like, maybe. But also when I hear stuff like that and I actually know the person, I'm like, you're literally just talking about income before all of your expenses. And it sounds really cool if you don't include expenses in your life. And I'm not talking about just like personal expenses. I'm talking about like mortgages. And, for those people with rental portfolios, I'm like, oh, do we not want to count, like actually how much is you get to walk away with at the end of the month? Or so I love that you said that. And dude, the other thing, when you were like helping people build real businesses, this kind of goes back to what we're working on behind the scenes with the all-in-one platform for 5 Pillars Nation, where it is literally going to be the framework on how to build a real business. So we're taking, the people we interview and all of the subject matter experts within the community, like yourself, and then within the categories, the 5 pillars of building a business within those separate categories, having those experts come in and build out a framework so that way people who join the community can plug right in and literally level 1 through level 5, this is all coming, I'm so excited, get to plug and play from the very beginning, with level 5 being either a sellable business or a business that you can step away from. And not saying that, we want to stop working, because you and I think we're going to fucking work till we die because we love that. But having the option and starting building out that way with the mindset from the beginning, instead of just like living through the chaos that we see so many agents do.
I love that you are sharing this now. Like it's what other freaking brokerages or teams or groups are doing this? Who else is actually wants you to be financially independent? I'd be willing to bet the majority of brokers don't actually want that for you, because then that means that you don't have to work. And therefore, if you don't work, they don't make money.
Yeah, for sure. And that's one of the things too. I was on the Real Estate Uncensored podcast the other day, which I'm getting you on, by the way. But they were talking to me about like socials, and they're like, right now, you know, you're not consistently putting out content. And I didn't tell this to them. But what I've thought about after that interview with them is that I haven't finished the product that I want to create to shout it from the rooftops, to shout it in all social media platforms, to talk about the framework, all of the stuff that we're working on behind the scenes, this platform, this how to build an actual business, like the different pillars, the skill levels to work within. As soon as it's done, I'm going to be so loud on the internet because I am so excited about it and so proud. So I took notes that whole time with your social media stuff because I'm going to be like Allie when I grow up.
That's awesome. I'm super excited. And again, like if you have any questions about any of that, hit us up.
Yep. And you know where to find us, but just in case, we are Allie the Agent and the Shelby Show on the gram. And guys, that is it for today. Thank you for joining the Agent Goldmine. And for listeners, this is for you guys. Be a bro and share the show. Thanks for listening, dude. If you want the golden nugget that this guest provided, see the show notes or just go straight to theagentgoldmine.com. That's where we keep the resources for you. Till next time.